Okay, so you know that feeling, right? You need to like get up to speed on something,
Yeah.
but like all the articles and like the data and stuff,
Right.
it's overwhelming.
Too much.
And you just kind of want to like switch off.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's where we come in.
That's right.
Today, we're diving deep into like a really widespread issue, and that's the increasing cost of owning or even just using a car these days.
A big one for sure.
Yeah, and we've got our sights set on two major economies,
Okay.
Italy and the United States.
Interesting comparison.
Yeah, to see what is driving this trend.
All right.
Yeah, so we've gathered some really compelling sources here,
Yeah.
articles and research that like offer different perspectives on why this like dream of affordable personal transportation
Right.
seems to be like slipping further and further away
Yeah.
in both of these countries.
Fascinating.
So our goal is to like extract the crucial insights for you, the listener, so you can understand like the key factors at play on both sides of the Atlantic.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Starting in Italy,
Okay.
one of our Italian sources takes a close look at these veicoli con finanziamento garantito, or VFG,
Okay.
and leasing agreements.
Right.
Now, these can look pretty tempting initially, can't they?
Yeah, the allure of lower monthly payments is definitely strong.
Yeah. Yeah, that lower monthly figure is often like the headline.
Right.
But what's fascinating here is the potential for like a whole raft of less obvious expenses and a lack of straightforward information.
Yeah, it could be tricky.
Yeah, the source highlights these costi aggiuntivi.
Uh-huh.
Think of them as extra costs piled on top.
Right.
Things like mandatory insurance required maintenance packages,
Oh, yeah.
and even penalties if you drive more than a certain number of kilometers.
I see.
These can really sting
They can.
and aren't always clear when you first sign up.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So it's not quite as simple as that initial low payment.
Right.
And it's not like you have full ownership in the traditional sense, is it?
No, not really.
There are strings attached, like those mileage limits.
Yeah.
And often you're restricted to using specific authorized service centers for any repairs.
Right.
And the idea of facing like hefty fines
Right.
if your life changes
Uh-huh.
and you need to end the agreement early, or if you just happen to drive a bit more than planned.
That's a worry.
Yeah, it sounds stressful.
Absolutely stressful. And this brings us to the Valor Futuro Garantido, or VFG.
Okay.
The concept is that the car will have a guaranteed future value at the end of your financing or lease period.
Right.
However, the source suggests this predicted value is often inflated.
Uh-huh.
So when you reach the end of your term, actually buying the car outright
Yeah.
might not be the great deal you were expecting.
Right.
It can almost push you into just starting a new financing agreement for another car,
Oh, wow.
keeping you in a perpetual cycle.
It's like constantly renting, but with more complications.
Yeah, exactly. And the easy availability of these financing options,
Right.
while seemingly helpful,
Yeah.
sounds like it could be a bit of a trap too.
Mm-hmm.
The source mentions indebitamento excessivo, excessive debt,
Okay.
suggesting that people might be taking on more than they realize
Right.
because the initial hurdles seem low.
So low.
Yeah, that's a critical observation.
Yeah.
The source emphasizes that consumers often aren't given a clear enough picture
Right.
of the real risks involved in these
Agreed
agreements.
involved in these agreements, yeah.
There are even reports of people finding themselves in serious debt due to these offers.
Wow.
The underlying concern is that these mechanisms might be more beneficial
Okay.
for the lenders and dealerships
Yeah.
than for the individuals behind the wheel.
Right. So if you're considering one of these deals in Italy, be careful.
Yeah, it sounds like you really need to read the fine print
Absolutely.
and maybe even get a magnifying glass.
Yeah, for sure. The big message seems to be about the need for greater awareness among consumers and for stronger regulations to ensure these contracts are transparent and fair.
Transparency is key.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if we shift our focus to the second Italian source,
Okay.
we encounter another significant factor contributing to the affordability challenge.
Right.
The plain and simple increase in the price of cars in Italy.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this isn't just about the financing.
Oh, no.
The sticker price itself is going up.
Yeah, we're seeing inflation affecting pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And cars, especially the newer electric models,
Right.
are packed with increasingly complex technology,
Yeah.
which naturally drives up the manufacturing costs.
Yeah.
Plus, there are the evolving emissions regulations that manufacturers need to comply with,
Right.
which can also add to the price tag.
And Italy's position within the European Union means it's subject to EU-wide trade policies,
Right.
which can influence the cost of imported vehicles.
For
What's particularly interesting in this source is the discussion around incentives.
Okay.
For electric vehicles.
Yeah.
They're seen as a vital tool for encouraging the shift towards greener transportation.
Absolutely.
But their success really depends on two key things.
Okay.
How substantial the financial benefits are,
Right.
and how straightforward it is for people to actually access them.
Yeah, how easy is it?
Yeah, because if the incentives are too small to make a real difference to the final price, or if the application process is like a bureaucratic nightmare,
Oh, yeah, red tape.
then electric vehicles risk becoming, as the source puts it,
Uh-huh.
un bene di lusso per pochi,
I see.
a luxury item for only a small number of people.
Right, so it becomes exclusive.
Yeah, that could create a real divide in who can afford cleaner transportation.
Absolutely a big problem.
To put this into context for you, the listener,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that average incomes in Italy tend to be lower than in the U.S. And the purchasing power of those incomes has been eroded by recent inflation.
Right, that's a big factor.
So when the price of new cars goes up,
Yeah.
it represents a more significant financial burden, a sacrificio economico significativo
Yeah, a real sacrifice.
for many Italians.
Yeah, for sure.
The source even touches on the broader economic implications if
Okay.
people can't afford new cars,
Right.
mentioning potential effetti negativi sull'intera filiera,
Yeah.
negative effects on the entire automotive supply chain.
So it ripples out.
Yeah, this could have like knock-on effects on jobs and industrial output,
Yeah.
painting a pretty concerning picture.
It does. The author concludes by expressing concern about a looming accessibilità delle auto crisis in Italy,
Okay.
a crisis of car affordability.
So a real problem.
Yeah, and argues for greater collaboration between the government and the automotive industry to find solutions.
What kind of solution?
These include more generous financial incentives,
Okay.
favorable tax policies, the development of more affordable car models, and crucially simplifying the often complex bureaucratic processes involved.
Yeah, cut the red tape.
Yeah, exactly.
So in Italy, it's a combination of potentially tricky financing options
Right.
and rising base prices,
Yeah.
making it harder for people to get into a new car.
It's a tough situation.
Let's cross the Atlantic
Okay.
and look at the United States as highlighted in our second main source.
Think good.
Here, the impact of tariffs seems to be a major point of concern.
That's right. The numbers are quite striking.
Okay.
The average price of a new car in the U.S. has jumped significantly from around $39,000 in 2019 to almost $50,000 in 2024.
That is a huge jump.
It is a substantial increase in a relatively short period.
Yeah.
And the source directly points to the devastating impact of tariffs.
Wow. Devastating, that's a strong word.
Yeah, it is.
Can you elaborate on what these tariffs are affecting?
Certainly, the source mentions tariffs of up to 25%
Wow.
on imported vehicles and their components.
Okay.
And this isn't just about cars made overseas.
Right. It includes imports from Canada and Mexico as well.
So even our neighbors.
Yeah. And what's particularly important to understand is that this not only affects the price of fully imported cars,
Okay.
but also drives up the cost of imported parts.
I see.
This has a ripple effect throughout the entire automotive production chain,
Right.
even for vehicles that are assembled in the U.S.,
Okay.
but rely on foreign-made components,
Right.
as illustrated by the example of the Hyundai Ioniq 5.
So even if you're buying a car that was put together in an American factory,
Yeah.
if some of its parts came from elsewhere
Uh-huh.
and we're subject to these tariffs,
Right.
you're likely going to see that reflected in the final price you pay.
Precisely.
And this has a direct impact on the affordability of electric vehicles in the U.S.
Yeah, EVs are often perceived as being more expensive up front.
Right.
And these tariffs just exacerbate that issue, making the transition to cleaner transportation more challenging.
And pushing those more budget-friendly EV options less accessible for middle and lower income brackets.
It's like a double setback for those trying to go electric in the U.S.
It is.
The vehicles themselves tend to have a higher initial cost, and then these tariffs are pushing those prices even further out of reach for many.
Right, making them even less attainable.
This must be having a noticeable impact on how people are approaching buying a car.
It is. The Auto-Pacific survey highlighted in the source is really telling.
Okay.
It found that an astonishing 75% of Americans
Wow.
who plan to buy a car have changed strategy.
So 3/4 of people.
Yeah, a huge number.
Wow.
People are resorting to longer loan terms,
Okay.
which means paying more interest over the life of the loan,
Yeah.
or they're opting for cheaper,
Huh.
perhaps older models,
Quite sense.
or they're simply putting off their purchase indefinitely.
Right.
This likely resonates with your own observations.
Yeah,
Perhaps you've noticed this trend yourself.
absolutely. I've definitely heard people talking about holding on to their current cars for longer
Right.
than they originally planned.
Makes sense.
And that example of Kevin Williams trying to lease a Hyundai Ioniq 5
Oh, yeah.
really brings home the difference between the advertised price and the actual cost.
Exactly. The initial low monthly payment he was quoted
Right.
ballooned significantly
Mm-hmm.
once taxes and various other fees were added in.
Wow.
It really highlights how those seemingly attractive headline offers
Right.
can quickly become much less appealing once you delve into the specifics.
Yeah, sticker shock.
For sure.
And the overall outlook presented for the U.S. market in this source
Yeah.
seems quite downbeat,
It does.
with concerns that consumers will have to cut other essential expenses to cope with the rising costs of cars.
Right. Because something has to give.
Yeah, that's a pretty stark statement about the financial pressures people are facing.
It is. And the expert opinion quoted
Yeah.
that tariffs represent one of the hardest blows to economic accessibility ever experienced by American consumers.
Wow.
Really emphasizes the seriousness of the situation in the United States.
Yeah, so as we bring these two perspectives together,
Right.
we can see some clear common themes emerging
Right.
in Italy and the U.S. alongside some key differences in the specific drivers.
Yes, definitely. We're observing a general increase in the cost of new cars across both regions,
Right.
fueled by factors like overall inflation,
Yeah.
the growing technological sophistication of vehicles, particularly electric ones,
Oh,
and evolving environmental regulations.
right.
Trade policies are also playing a significant role,
Yeah.
with tariffs being a major factor in the U.S.,
Mhm.
and broader EU policies influencing the Italian market.
And the way people finance their vehicles is also presenting challenges.
Right.
In Italy, it's the potential complexities and lack of transparency in those VFG and leasing agreements.
Yeah, a lot of fine print to wade through.
Yeah, and in both countries, making the transition to electric vehicles affordable remains a critical hurdle. It's absolutely.
Heavily dependent on effective government incentives
Right.
and reducing the base cost of the vehicles themselves.
We got to come down in price.
We're also seeing a noticeable erosion of consumer purchasing power,
Hmm.
making car ownership an increasingly heavy financial load.
Yeah, it's a big burden.
And both sets of sources suggest potential negative consequences
Right.
for the wider automotive industry if these trends continue and sales decline.
So it could have a big impact.
Yeah, so the core message for you, our listener, is that affording a car
Uh-huh.
is becoming a significantly greater challenge in both Italy and the United States.
It is.
While the specific reasons might vary slightly from country to country,
Yeah.
the end result is the same.
Right.
It's putting a bigger strain on people's wallets.
Absolutely. This raises an important point for you to think about.
Okay.
How might these trends further influence your own financial planning
Yeah,
and transportation choices in the years ahead?
right.
What does this tell us about the future of how we get around?
And perhaps more fundamentally,
Yeah.
who will have access to personal mobility?
Really crucial questions to consider.
Yeah, they are.
If you found this deep dive insightful
Uh-huh.
and want to explore more of these complex topics with us,
Yeah.
please consider subscribing to our channel.
Great idea.
We're always digging into the details to bring you the information that matters.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Thanks for joining us,
My pleasure.
and we'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.